People think marketing is trying to then convince people to buy your product. That's not marketing. Marketing begins in market research. Market research happens before you even concluded what the product or service is.
What that means is that you're going to people and you're saying, take, buy. And when people don't buy, you're saying people are not loyal to you, buy a lawyer and all of that stuff. And it's not the case.
What a customer avatar is, it's literally you building out who your ideal customer is.
Every entrepreneur needs to actually find the balance between, the functionality of the product. So what value is the product giving you, right? As well as the emotional part of the product, right? What satisfaction are you tapping into your customer for them to feel like, you know what, this has satisfied a need, but at the end of the day, I'm so proud to be associated with this product, or this product gives me so much joy.
Like your blessing caps where your knowledge ends.
Your product needs to be so good that she realizes that she has so many other problems that she did not think about. Nobody cares. Entrepreneurs lie to themselves and say that somebody out there is waiting for them to launch their product, get serious about their business or rebrand. But the honest truth is that every customer is too busy and caught up with their own life's problems.
The truth is that you are not the Cinderella, my darling. You are the godmother, okay? Your job is to guide and to help Cinderella. You're the one that gets the glass shoe. You're the one that gets the carriage. You're the one that makes sure she's beautiful. That means if you do anything besides making Cinderella the star, you lose. And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs are. You think you're the star of the show. You think people care about you and what you're about. People are actually there for themselves, and you start to win when you just literally let Cinderella be the star.
It's very true. And if we can take it back to the conversation we had last week, right? Because this is part of this the 3-part series. We told you to go and figure out what your unfair advantage is. And I hope you were intentional about it, because the people who come to this platform better be intentional. And with that unfair advantage, we said it was the oil in your house. The moment the widow found out about her oil in her house being the unfair advantage, the prophet told her to go and gather vessels. And the biggest mistake that people make is that as soon as they have the oil, they're just like, you know what, let me go and pour it in other people's cups, in other people's homes. And that's not what needs to happen. You need to take a step back and gather those vessels, which we said is knowledge. And in this particular conversation, we're calling it market research.
Definitely. And the thing is, gathering the vessels, okay, something that you have to take very seriously, because there is a reason why he didn't just say, go take the oil and start selling it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he didn't say, go take the oil and immediately start pouring it out. Gather those vessels. So take this part really, really seriously. And don't just gather any vessel. They said as many as you can, right? So that means you literally need to take your time in this stage and take it so seriously, because a lot of people misunderstand what marketing actually is. People think marketing is trying to then convince people to buy your product. That's not marketing. Marketing begins in market research. Market research happens before you even concluded what the product or service is. If you try to market something that has not been produced for a specific target market that you've done specific marketing research for, it will never sell. That's why you have so many entrepreneurs who have over-invested in this thing. They've brought all the stock, they've poured their entire life savings into something, only to find out nobody wants it.
It's like, for example, right? Let's make it practical. It's like buying an egg, right? And saying the egg is your unfair advantage and this is what you want to sell to your customers. And you decide you're going to boil the egg and you're going to sell it to people. No? What that means is that you're going to people and you're saying, take, buy. And when people don't buy, you're saying people are not loyal to you, buy a lawyer and all of that stuff. And it's not the case. You didn't actually take a step back to say, but does my customer want boiled eggs? Does my customer want scrambled eggs? Does my customer like omelets? Do they like things added to their eggs, So that you have a product that actually satisfies a need that is available, a need that is actually in the market, as opposed to you selling what you just have.
Exactly. And I think you hear literally by what you just said, the egg is never the problem.
Yes.
It's how you package it and how you brand it. And in order for you to know the best way that in order for you to know the best way to prepare the egg, you need to understand and learn and study the person you're selling to, right? And this is called a customer avatar, right? You need to create a customer avatar. What a customer avatar is, it's literally you building out who your ideal customer is. I'll make an example with us at Tholtema. We have Ruby, right? So Ruby is our avatar. Ruby is our ideal customer. We serve Ruby at Tholtema. Ruby is about 35 years old. She's married. She is Christian. She's high earning. She's a rich auntie in Uyakoma. She's a high maintenance girly. Literally, we even make jokes about her. We'll say, oh, Ruby would never take such. But because it literally affects everything. It affects everything about what we do and how we do it, because we're doing it specifically for Ruby. There are certain things that Ruby doesn't care about, Ruby's not interested in, that we don't bother touching. And there are certain things that other people wouldn't care about, but we know Ruby stresses and fusses over these things. And we have to make sure that we do those because we know exactly who we're talking to. If you try to sell to everybody, you sell to nobody, Dana. Like period. That's it. And a lot of people, when they hear this, they think of scarcity, right? You think it's smarter and wiser to try to sell to everyone because you worry that you will actually, you're limiting your pool of people, or that if you name a specific person, then the other people will feel excluded. But like, listen, I don't even know how to say it. If you sell to everyone, that's actually where you lose it. When you're speaking to a specific person, right? Even the person who's not that person will hear you because they know someone who is that person. Or they want to become that person.
And you learn to also make your messaging to that person more clear and direct.
Exactly.
That's so interesting. I like how you named Ruby, right? So I knew obviously that you need to understand your customer, but to an extent of naming her, what I'm hearing is that you make it so clear that this is the person I'm talking to. This is what she has. You know, you define her characteristics. You know, you speak to, okay, this is her age. This is, this is the target market that she likes. This is her income. So it makes it really easier for you to actually sit down with your product so that you understand how to serve Ruby.
Definitely. I think when you make her a real person, like you initially need to make Ruby alive and well, and involve Ruby into every single meeting that you have. Every time you sit down to think about anything, the colors, the kind of content you shoot, anything, you need to reference back to who am I doing it for. And when you know very clearly who Ruby is and what she likes, what she doesn't like, it becomes so easy and so seamless, and you always nail it.
And if you make Ruby a person, right?
Yeah.
What you create is that you create an emotion, you create behaviors, you create attitudes, and you also understand, it makes it easier also for you to predict the type of behavior that Ruby would expect from you as a business, the type of excellence, or if not excellence, the type of quantity that Ruby would expect you to deliver and at what rate. So I think it becomes more clear as an entrepreneur the more you obsess over, because I think you need to obsess over your customer like there's nothing else outside of her. And I think what we do wrong as entrepreneurs is that we obsess over the profits that we want to make, and we obsess over the outcome of what we want people to think our business is, that we move away from the main idea, our main character, our Cinderella, the Beyonce of our generation, Ruby. I love that so much.
Generally, and it makes me think, like, once you actually study the person you're selling to, right, and study anybody, like understand that people buy for a specific reason, right? It's never necessarily that it's a do or die, especially in this age. I feel like it's now, things have changed so much that like you have to actually understand. I even think to myself how you literally pay any bank, and as long as they say it saves a little bit of time, it's a little bit convenient of like, yeah, I need it.
That is true. I know myself. If anybody pitches me anything, I'm not interested. But the moment they say, Eliza, it's going to save you time if you do 1, 2, 3. It's done. Like, you just need to let me know how much I need to pay you, what's the payment plan, and we're ready to rock. Yo, guys, our production team has taken over my English, but yeah. And then I know with you, Tamia will buy any store. She's so gullible, guys. She's a gullible human being. Tell them about the cheesecake story, my darling.
Yeah, so that day, you guys, I bought this burnt cheesecake, and I was so convinced it would be good because the guy literally sold us this amazing story about how it was invented in the 1990s when this guy accidentally burnt the cake. For me personally, like, I buy into story, I buy into packaging, like,
Can I just say, it did just taste like a burnt
I know.
Okay,
And by that time, I had already bought it.
Yeah.
But also knowing the story kind of changed how I experienced
Yeah.
it. I actually looked for the good flavor in the burntness. And I think that's just how I am in my mind. Like, I think about how I'm a gal pal through and through, you guys. Like, I always tell everybody, anything that Bumbili Draba will release, I will buy, because I am so invested in her story and everything she is and everything she does, right? Like, I buy into other people, I buy into their stories. Yeah, and I'm literally even thinking about how I will literally buy anything Wisdom and Illness releases, you guys, because I am so sold to their story and their brand and what they sell. The reason why I use an iPhone is not necessarily because I think it's a better phone. I literally I love the story of Steve Jobs and excellence, and every time I see the iPhone, I just fill in my mind with like, okay, it's excellent, therefore I am excellent. And that's just how I am. I will pay the highest dollar if you attach a story to it.
And you know what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah.
So there's me who will pay for convenience, whether it's somebody doing a service for me or whether it's something I have to buy to make my life easier, right? Then there's you, the gullible customer, right? Who literally buys into the story, right? And I think every entrepreneur needs to actually find the balance between, you know, the functionality of the product. So what value is the product giving you, right? As well as the emotional part of the product, right? What satisfaction are you tapping into your customer for them to feel like, you know what, this has satisfied a need, but at the end of the day, I'm so proud to be associated with this product, or this product gives me so much joy, you know?
I definitely agree. And I think it's so important to stress that you cannot have one without the other, you guys. They sort of have to come together. And that's the only way you end up with a product that sells out every single time. And to give you guys a case study, because I actually have a product that sells out every time. I remember when, not even I remember when, but the actual truth about Tholtema products, and I'll speak to the head wraps initially because that's what we started with. First of all, they are extremely functional. They serve a functional need because when I invented head wraps, right, I was listening to what Ruby was saying, which is important, the market research. I did my market research and I was listening to what Ruby was saying. Ruby was saying that head wraps were too tight and they gave her a headache. Ruby was saying that she can't even tie a head wrap, and Ruby was saying that a head wrap doesn't even look that good, right? So I decided that actually my head wraps are not going to be like any other head wraps that are out there. My head wraps are going to serve a functional need that Ruby has. They're going to be high quality, they're going to be comfortable, so I went for the really stretchy fabric, right? And then Ruby doesn't need to know how to tie it, so I created instant turbans that she simply slips on. And because I'm naturally a stylish person, I made them really stylish. I made sure that this is something that I actually want to wear that looks amazing. And therefore, it was super functional. But then I didn't stop at that. I then tapped into the emotional side of things. Like, if you guys come across Tholtema, or even anything Tholtema, even from the very beginning, I always speak about how the head wrap is not just any head wrap, but it's a crown. And how you're the queen, how Ruby is the queen. I crown rules. I position Tholtema as a guide that actually crowns and celebrates Ruby. And I'm always speaking about how elegance and confidence, that's what we sell. I literally, like I always say, that we do not sell clothes, we don't sell head wraps. What we actually sell is confidence, which is the emotion. And I make sure that consistently I do not miss. We're always communicating the crown element, the queen element. And I feel like that's what literally makes us sell out. That's literally what makes us sell out each and every time. The products are highly functional, and there's always a story.
What I'm hearing you say is the importance of leading with your why and not your what, right? So leading with your what is, I am selling turbans, buy my turbans. Right?
That's leading with your what?
Yeah, that's leading with your what, right?
Yeah.
So this is the product that I have. So you find people, they open up Instagram accounts, they just they post their product there, and they're like, this is the product, this is the price, right? But the moment you start communicating directly to your avatar why they need to buy into your product and why your product gives them value. For example, I hear you saying that your client is a queen and the product is a crown. So why would you want to be a queen without a crown? That's the why. While most people would rather say, I'm selling turbans for 300 rand, come, this is my location and all of that stuff, which is the what. And I think the another thing about tapping to the emotion of your Ruby, right, is that you build a connection with her. Because the what might make you sell, but the why is why Ruby comes back to buy from you, because she builds a connection with your brand. She identifies with the product that you're selling, and I think that's so beautiful. Honestly,
Genuinely, I think what you said literally just sparked a thing. I think your why gets her to try, right? Your branding, the emotion, because I think the functionality is in product development, right? It's in you building a really amazing product, right?
Yeah.
That's the functionality. And then the emotion comes in then with branding. That's your messaging. That's like the story that you want your customer to believe,
Yeah.
right? And you putting those together, so the branding and the why and the story gets people to try. It gets
Yeah.
people to like take a chance on you.
Yeah.
But if your product is not good, then people will try it once and never come back. Or people will try it once, and those who have tried it will go tell everybody that your stuff is nonsense. So then it won't matter how much emotion and branding and story that you have, which is why it's so crucial again to say you need them both. You can't have an amazing story without great quality product and a great purposeful functional product or service, and you cannot have the great quality, great service, great thingy without a story and a branding that pulls people in, because then you're going to have good stuff that never moves.
And just a reminder that in all of that, in the functionality and the emotion, focus on your main character. Respond to what the main character is saying. So I think if you think of Nokia, you like to give a lot the analogy of Nokia.
Guys, let me tell you about Nokia. Nokia keeps me up at night. Nokia is the reason why I'm a workaholic at this point, because literally, and I heard this and I believed it, right? Someone said that, like, as an entrepreneur, you literally need to treat your business as if it's on borrowed time. Like, you cannot afford to be complacent. And the thing about Ruby, she's the main character, so she doesn't need you. She is worried about herself and what serves her and what needs her. So the minute you just like don't serve that and the best way, even for just a little bit, she is going to be so quick to drop you. So if you don't keep innovating, if you stop collecting the vessels, because even in the scripture, you guys, literally, the minute she stopped, the minute the vessels ceased, then the blessing stopped. Like, your blessing caps where your knowledge ends. And you continuing to get market research, you continuing to find out what Ruby wants. Like this year, hey guys, the sweat I sought, sweathead to get Bata Yellow, because Bata Yellow is in trend. I couldn't care less about Bata Yellow. I'm not someone who follows trends. Like, I just go with what I know. But because I know who Ruby is, Ruby Utanda isn't, and Ruby can see that Bata Yellow is the uniform of the season. So I had to make sure that, guys, by fire by force, something in our collection has to have Bata Yellow in it, no matter how hard it is, no matter how, not so irrelevant that is, because I understand the fact that if we don't give Ruby what she wants, if we don't stay on top of the game, if we don't keep pushing, if we're not constantly innovating and reinventing and looking at what's new, what's happening, and constantly pushing at that, I think that's kind of why Tholtema has exploded so quickly, because the minute something starts to almost feel like we're getting comfortable, I'm looking at how can we grow, what can we do better, what can we improve, what else is Ruby looking at that we could possibly serve, and we go for it. And if you don't do that as a business, then you're gonna be like Nokia. And I heard they're rebranding. They died.
And it's true, né? And I think the importance of being intentional about how you get information from Ruby, right? Don't be shy. Like, if you're a person with a TikTok page, your analytics are your best friend. You actually have to sit down, figure out what is it that people are actually interested in, what posts got more comments, what posts got more likes, what are people actually asking about more and more, It's not about how you feel, what you like about your product, right? Because I'm sure from the ranges there are certain, pieces that you loved so much, right?
True.
But Ruby was pulling you towards, another direction, right? Okay, when you think about it, it's like servanthood or servantship. That word, right? We're gonna keep it like that for this episode, right?
Yeah.
you need to serve your customer, right? And what's serving? It's like when you go to a restaurant, right? When you come, right? I don't just, for example, if I have a restaurant and today we have a special for bottomless mimosas or whatever the case is, right? I don't assume that the customers walked in, that's what they want. I go to the table and ask, what is it that you'd like me to serve you, right? And you make a list, and those with great memories, unlike us, right? They will write down that this person wants this drink, this what's this, right? And then with time, restaurants begin to understand that this is the star of the show, right? So they know that when they make a special on this particular, beef what, or drink what, it's because people are coming back for that. It's because they understand that this is what's bringing the most satisfaction. Because even with your business, right? Your business might bring value across the board, but there's those specific pieces that draw Ruby time and time and again, right? When I think of Tholtema, right? Number one, comfortability. People want to be comfortable, right? So there's the people who obviously want the snatchness of the dress is their piece, and then there's people who genuinely come and they want the floriness of it, right? And it's understanding how to continuously tailor it, and that's understanding that you are a servant, you're not a main character. Don't get too fixated. You can have your goals. You can have, your art. You can want to compare yourself to other people that's out there. But your biggest focus, majority of your time, is how am I serving my customer, right? And that even speaks to the service that your product brings. Because people who actually sell products tend to undermine the service that comes with the product, right?
Sure.
So they undermine things
the experience,
even how people experience you as a person, right? Because that's why people get cancelled, right? And their products get cancelled with, right? Because they think that because this is so valuable and people want this, that's all that's needed. No, darling, you are part of the package. It's like a package, a Christmas present. The way it's wrapped, the entire experience speaks to the customer. And we're speaking to people who want to achieve excellence in their business, and I think that's what we want to allude to in this episode. It's not just about serving a product, it's not just about becoming the next billionaire, it's not just about making an income, but it's about level of excellence and attention to detail and pushing yourself, because that's what entrepreneurship, if you're not pushing yourself as an entrepreneur, will iterate, you're self-employed.
Literally.
You're self-employed, and you will become tomorrow's news very fast if you're not careful. Because also, the thing about our generation is so creative, guys. And TikTok has made it so easy for us to see alternatives to the products that we have. And that's why the servitude, whatever the word is, right? It's so important, because you're constantly getting into the mind of your person, getting into attitude of your person, getting into the availability of your person, to ensure that your product really is hitting that sweet spot.
Exactly, because honestly, you can't serve who you don't know.
Yes.
And you can't serve someone something they don't want.
Yes.
Right? So, which is why it's important to go back again to the very beginning, collecting the versus the market research and creating your customer avatar, because you first have to understand who you're serving in order to properly serve them. You know how they say you need to love someone in their love language?
Yeah.
Let's speak to the one you understand.
Exactly.
Let's speak to the language of Umjolo, because I know you hear that one. They've been saying in the streets of TikTok, my love language, okay? And people say that with love languages, right? Same way as in a relationship. People don't want to be loved how you see love.
Yes.
They want to be loved how they believe love is, right? And it's so important as a business person, as an entrepreneur, to understand that you need to love your customer in their love language.
Yes.
That means you have to understand their love language before you can actually serve it to them nicely. And the beautiful thing about the internet, about even TikTok and having your business on social media, but even in person, abantu bayakhuluma, guys.
Yeah.
I swear to you, people talk. When I tell you from the beginning, Tholtema for me was just an idea about head wraps, right?
Yeah.
And even the head wraps I loved was like the ones I was wrapping for myself.
Yeah.
That's my style. That's the ones that I love to wear.
Yeah.
but I listened to what Ruby was saying, and Ruby was clearly saying she wanted an instant turban. And I didn't think the instant turbans would even take off the way that they did. But the minute they did, I didn't keep now pushing the traditional hijabs because that's what I loved, right? I immediately followed Ruby's lead, and I started pushing the instant turbans because I saw that that's what she loved the most. And as we kept going, Ruby kept on asking. She said that she wanted the dress to go with the hijabs. In fact, Ruby said she would love to incorporate her own shweshwe into the thingy. People think you're so innovative and creative. I mean, yes. But what I actually am really good at is at listening to what my customers is saying and incorporating that. That's how the shweshwe thing came in. I literally listened to what a customer said.
And at some point she was like, make clothes for my man.
Exactly. At some point, Ruby was like, listen, I'm going to this event. I love your dress, but what's my man going to wear? I was like, Ruby, I hear you, girl.
Yeah.
I have a plan. And then I deliver. So I'm not constantly bringing in these things or doing all of these things just because I like it or just because like I'm bored and I'm just trying to angaz, guys. But like essentially everything that we do like at Tholtema, we're listening to what Ruby is saying, and the customer always speaks. It's just that as people, sometimes you don't listen. But when you understand the importance of what Ruby is saying, you actually you have to tune in and like listen very intently and intent. Oh, Jesus.
Guys? Yeah.
Listen very carefully. Let me stop killing myself with bombastic words. Listen very carefully and just follow her lead. And as you're following her lead, relax. Ruby's not loyal to nobody. Like the reason why I keep delivering, like, right, we were doing the hijabs, the hijabs were doing really well. We could have stuck to that. But I just knew that if I couldn't give Ruby the dresses she wanted, she'd go look for somebody else who could do the amazing hijabs and create the matching dresses.
And you know, the biggest lies also entrepreneurs tell themselves is that I'm the only one doing it this great. People are learning, guys. People are creative. People are innovative, right?
And they even do it better than you do.
And they do.
Do you know how many Tholtema copycats accounts are out there? And then follow and don't I'm not sure. You're waiting to copy me. I'm waiting to copy you.
Like, you know, and I think it's understanding that. And I think I love what you said about love languages, right?
Yeah.
Because another thing is that if you are able to understand Ruby's language, you are able to communicate directly to her need, right? Because sometimes Ruby can come across your product and think, this is my problem, right? Your product needs to be so good that she realizes that she has so many other problems that she did not think about.
Sure.
Right? So if, for example, we use Tholtema as a case study, right? When Ruby comes in for a hairband, right? She'll see a matching dress and be like, oh my gosh, there's a wedding that's coming up. That is something that I would actually need. She'll find matching accessories and be like, oh, this will go so well. She'll find another piece for her husband and she'll be like, oh, that's good, you know? And so you need to, as you're building your case study, right? And we want to really encourage people to be creative, because the thing about creativity comes with a lot of fear and holding back, right? And so when you're approaching your Ruby, don't be shy. You know, it's okay from time to time. If you're too afraid to go all in, you know, give a small in, you know, do a limited edition here or there. See how Ruby reacts. Ask questions. And the thing that I like about social media, you can literally ask questions.
Put up a poll on Instagram.
You know, when people come to your stores, ask them, how was your experience? You know, and those are things that really make you stand out. Like there's this guy I really love. So what he used to do is that he used to sell coffee at the corner of the street, right? And if you're a South African and you live in Sandton Midrand and Randburg, right? You know that you're in traffic all the time and you're always forgetting your coffee, right?
Yeah.
And if you know you work in a corporate, you know those coffee lines are horrible. So this man literally started selling coffees at the side of the road, and his coffee was so amazing. It was so excellent. It was in clean utensils. It was amazing. He started employing other people to sell at other corners of the street. Tell, and the thing is, people look at that and be like, no, that's crazy. Oh, that's overthinking.
But it's convenient.
It's convenient.
And I feel like the fact that he actually thought about the experience he went as far as ensuring that people could see that this is not just a random coffee on the Saturdays, but it's prepared well.
Exactly.
And the packaging looks proper. Like, it makes you feel like, okay, I could actually.
And what I think I like about it is that he started where he was. So the next day he can open up a coffee chain and people wouldn't be shy to try it out because we trust him. He's literally built the service for himself to say that even though I'm outside, I'll make sure that my utensils are clean. I'll make sure that I'm consistent. Shilivane likes to say people who are selling on the street, they're not consistent.
One day in night,
One
the
day
next
they're
day
there, the next day they're not there. It's like, what's going on? You
That's
know,
the problem.
The consistency that
And
comes
that-
with serving Ruby is important.
That literally takes people off.
Exactly.
When one day you give this amazing, excellent service and then the next you're gone. Like honestly, as people, I feel like people would rather settle for mediocre as long as it's consistent. They know people want to know what they're getting into.
Yes.
So when you actually decide to go in, and you should, I believe you should go all in your business and pay attention to the details and the service and the experience and literally the branding, because people think branding is just the colors that you use and the words that you say. It's experience. It's the feeling you portray, and the feeling you portray comes from the little things that you pay attention to. It comes from the small little tweaks that you decide to make. The only way it actually sticks, the only way it doesn't work against you, is if you're actually consistent with it. So you need to create systems to make sure it comes out the same way every single time. If you decide that you are going to add angazi, give out an extra thingy of sugar, don't do it one day and then the next day you don't do it.
True.
It's just gonna go against you.
Because it's like, if you think of like your KFCs and your McDs, we all know there's those KFCs that we don't trust. There's those branches that we don't go to no matter what's happening. Then there's those ones that we know that they're doing well. These are the same brands, but two different experiences, right? So they're the same brand by name, but they're not the same brand by experience. And as an entrepreneur, you want to ensure that people can literally have the same feeling, whether they come on a Monday, on a Tuesday, whether they have more money or they don't have money. You need to treat people consistently, because also you don't know what the thing about word of mouth, me spreading, right, as a general person without marketing, that your brand is amazing. It catches on to somebody else.
Genuinely.
Organic marketing that comes from people's satisfied experience is one that will take you further than, your paid promotions and you trying to, try and articulate yourself as the best in the industry. No, darling. The best in the industry is the person who, have you ever been those people that when something drops, right, you want to ensure that you're the first in the store to actually get it?
No.
Exactly. That's how many entrepreneurs have not sparked your interest that much. Remember the day when we opened Tholtema? There were people who were literally standing outside before we opened the doors, guys. And then the previous night, we were still working on construction and we were still fixing so much. And I remember we started panicking because we're just like, we're two girls and there's so much that we need to fix. But people were so excited about the experience and about the product. And we give you your acrylics, eh?
Acrylics.
Yes, your acrylics, And that's an experience that people want to have, even though they've had it before. And that's what I think that branding is, and that's what serving your customer is. So to wrap it up, what have you learned or what have you unraveled in this episode?
I think I have unraveled that you need to have both emotional and functionality, right? I've unraveled that the emotion will get people into the door, but the functionality and the quality and the excellence is what's going to keep them coming back. What have you unraveled?
The first thing I unraveled is that when I get passionate, I shout, guys. So I apologize deeply so. But also what I've unraveled, right, is that stop letting your ego get in the way of your abundance. It's not about you. It's not about your goals. It's not about the money you want to make. It's about your customer. You need to know who your customer is and you need to serve your customer. If you don't know what serving is, you need to learn what servant leadership is and implement it into your business. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're self-employed, whether you have 10,000 employees or you're the only employee, serve to the best of your ability.
I think that's it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And an important thing, we actually we really, really want to know. We've been speaking about customer avatars,
Yeah.
right? And the importance of you being the main character, and you are our main character. Okay, you're the star of the show. We serve you. We want to know. Comment down below. Who are you? Okay, because we're trying to create a customer avatar for you. We
Yeah.
want to know who you are. Okay, who are you and why are you here? What are you hoping to take away from here? What do you want abundance to pour into your vessel? Share it down below. And another thing, as always, this is not a talking podcast, it's a doing podcast. So down in the description, we've put in a link, and if you go on there and you click on it, and if you go in there and you click on it, you're gonna find this week's vessels assignment. If you did last week's one, then you saw it was valuable, it was useful, and it got you to unlock. And this week has been better because throughout the exercise, in the end, you will literally have your customer avatar like structured out for you, and you will figure out exactly what they want and how what you have in your house, the oil, can literally serve them, which is so crucial. So make sure to click on the link and do this week's homework and come back and let us know how it went, and we will see you again on the next episode. So always remember, God has poured abundantly and we are the vessels. Bye.